Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. And today we have a very special guest, and a very special talk for you. I need to stop the echo in YouTube because we're broadcasting there in YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So I was hearing the same thing I was saying delayed. So as I was saying, today we have a very special guest, Claudia Muehlenweg, who is a dear friend and colleague. She's the founder of the Naturally Clear Vision Institute, and she's the creator of the Naturally Clear Vision Method. And you may have also seen her in the 2020 Natural Vision 2020 summit that we did a few years ago. And she's also participating in the anthology of natural vision improvement that several colleagues and I are participating in. And today she's coming to tell us about how we could improve our eyesight and vision in 5 days. Of course, if you're here, you know about me, you know about natural vision improvement, you have given a shot probably at the free masterclasses that I share. But I thought, let's bring Claudia in. She has a different approach. And maybe you've tried it, maybe you haven't, but it's always good to look at things from a different perspective. And different people have different languages, different ways to react to things. So we're here to serve. We're here to help you improve your eyesight. And so I'm very, very happy to bring Claudia to you so that you can have yet another opportunity to improve your eyesight naturally. So Claudia, it's all yours. I'll be around, of course, to support, but let's hear you about it.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. You were in Los Angeles and we ended up doing a beach walk together. And I just love hanging out with you because we're both so mission driven. We both want to change the world and what people think about vision. And then you're such a good friend, like you said. And then we come up with these great ideas like doing this thing live today. And I love what you also said about hearing it from different people and different voices. I definitely, in my own journey, and I will talk about my own journey in a moment, I really needed to hear it from different things. I started with a book like so many people did. And then that only gets you so far. And I had 2 teachers in my teacher training. But yeah, sometimes, it's just like you hear the first time, you're like, I quite don't get it yet. And then somebody else just reframes it a little bit. And but Anoa and I both come from that same approach of holistic vision improvement that is based in the Bates method. And then we've added on our own little pieces. So yeah, let me share I think I can share my screen. Let me see if I can figure this out.
Earlier, it was working just fine. So
it was working fine. So let's see. It should be working fine. All right. I think, are you seeing? So I have,
yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
Maybe because we still see things around the frame.
Yep. I will put it in full screen mode. And now you should see it in full screen mode.
There you go.
All right. Awesome. Well, you guys, you're already friends with Anoa and on her email list. And so you already know a little bit, but this is a quote I absolutely love by our colleague. And I think Jacob was also in your summit, Anoa. He said, over half the people in the United States wear corrective lenses, and almost all of them are capable of seeing much more clearly if they would only experiment with changing their ideas about vision, right? Isn't that so true? It's not just hearing about it, but also experimenting with it. And all of you here watching this live or as a replay, you're clearly ready to do this kind of work. So I want to share a little bit about myself, just so you have some background. So this is basically, me. I was teaching at a community health fair. That was about 10 years ago. And my background is actually graphic design. So I used to work as a designer for many years. But the reason I got into this, I will share with you why I got into vision improvement. So this is me, first day of school. I was 6 years old, and I was, you see me, I was literally the only kid in my school, in my class with glasses. I got them at age 3, and I hated the glasses. And I was born a long time ago. And like you see, like nowadays, more kids wear glasses, but I got bullied, I got teased, and I felt really ugly, and I got more and more shy. And this is, me a little older, 12 years old. And then you see that picture down there, the carnival. I literally felt like that chimney sweeper. Like I was, everybody was a beautiful princess, and I had to use these whammy down costumes from the boys in the neighborhood. My parents didn't have any money, but look at me, the only one with glasses. I felt so out of place. Like that image literally shows how I felt inside. It is so bad. And then even many years later, as I had two kids of my own, you see my daughters Zoe and Lara here, I hated my glasses so much. And after a very difficult divorce, we separated and divorced. I found myself as a single mom of my two girls. And I was really sleep deprived at that time. I was stressed out. I had full-time custody. I didn't really want that, but I was barely getting any sleep. And, I was kind of using wine to kind of relax at the end of the day. And I felt really, really lonely. And during that time, my vision got so much worse. And not just, from drinking alcohol, but just basically feeling so alone and sad and depressed and getting not getting enough sleep and just being, everything, the burden of the world on my shoulders. And I remember a particular night I went to a party. I was trying to have some fun and going out after, the divorce. And I just felt old and unattractive. I had just turned 40 and I felt really disconnected from the other guests. And on the way home, I got lost in Los Angeles. And if you've ever been in Los Angeles, it's a big city. And back then we didn't have Google Maps. We had this thing called the Thomas Guide with tiny print. And I couldn't read it. I tried to read it with the glasses on, with the glasses off, and then the little light in the car, if it's not very bright. I was really lost. So I just drove away, and at some point I found a place I recognized and I made it home. And when I got home, I was so stressed that when I was in my driveway, I took my glasses off and my vision was so blurry that it was worse than it had ever been before. And I got really, really stressed and worried about this because, as I said, I was working as a designer. So if I lose my vision, I can't make any money. But I realized a few hours later, as I calmed down, and especially the next morning, I was like, wow, the next morning my vision was better again. And I realized that when I was stressed out, when I felt disconnected from the world, when I felt overwhelmed, and when I felt sad, my vision was a lot blurrier and worse. But when I was happy, when I felt relaxed, my vision was better. And no eye doctor had ever told me that my vision can vary because I had my prescription, right? I had my prescription that was supposed to be what I needed. And I realized when I felt good, on this morning, I didn't even need glasses, for most tasks of the day. And this was completely new to me. So I started researching. I got really interested in natural vision improvement. And I had the luck that my yoga teacher had basically just completed a natural vision improvement teacher training. And she was looking for, students to practice with. So I started working with her and I saw immediate results. And it made that difference from just reading a book or something. I really needed that help. And as my vision got better and better, I was eventually able to ditch these crutches for good. And I felt like it just gave me the freedom back and the confidence that I can live my life and do what I need to do. And then I got so interested and I signed up for vision improvement teacher training. I did that in 2009 at the College of Vision Education in London with my teachers, Margaret Montgomery and Aileen Whiteford. And at that time, I still worked in graphic design for a few more years, but then eventually I quit my job and I studied additional modalities. I became a yoga teacher. I did breathwork practices. This is me teaching at a conference in Edinburgh for vision educators, talking about myofascial release. But I started teaching audiences all over the world, and it really made my life, I really feel I finally arrived in life where I want to be. And we often say, our biggest hurdles, our biggest handicaps are actually what we're supposed to do once we overcame them. So this is enough about me. I'm curious right now, and I don't see any polls, I think, in the chat here, but have you ever done an eye exam, right? Type one in the chat or yes in the chat, if there's a chat. I don't even know, Anoa, if we have that option. But
yes, there is a live chat. So both people that are watching on YouTube or Facebook could write, yes, I have done an eye exam. Yeah.
Perfect. So I want to say one more thing, because sometimes, I do want to make sure that you don't think that ophthalmologists and optometrists are horrible people, right? They are often the only resource that we have to give us clear vision and to be safe in the world, however. But, an eye exam is usually a very stressful endeavor, right? I've done many eye exams in my life, and I've always found them incredibly stressful. And you know what happens at the end of the eye exam, right? You get that prescription, and you fill that in, and anywhere between, depending on what you need, $200 to $1,000 these days. And many times insurance doesn't even cover that. And especially if you get progressive glasses, have astigmatism and all those things. So I was sick and tired of paying for these expensive glasses. And I haven't talked about sunglasses yet, but I used to wear sunglasses because I was so light sensitive. So, you realize eventually, right, the glasses and contacts are a Band-Aid that make my vision worse long-term. That was 100% my experience, because they only address the symptom and not the actual root cause, right? I hope that all makes sense so far. And the same goes for contacts and LASIK. And we're not having much time to talk about LASIK, but I will address it in just a second. So usually you start with single distance glasses right on the top left. If you're nearsighted, you get them for driving or any distance related task, and you might actually wear them all day long, not really realizing that you only need them for distance. And if you're farsighted, you usually start with reading glasses, and you realize, when you take them off, when you look in the distance, they're too strong. So you realize they basically just work for one distance. And then eventually you get bifocals, or nowadays they usually give you these progressive glasses that have different diopter strength for different part of the lens. And they lead to many, many problems, which we don't have time to cover today, but they create some kind of weird postural things, because you're now trying to find the right diopter and you're tilting your head back and forth. And maybe type in the chat if that's been your experience. Then if you have those glasses, right, because they assume you look down, that you're reading, and that you look, when you look straight ahead, you look far away. But now you might be looking at the computer, which is near, but straight ahead. And so you're tilting your chin up to kind of look through the lower part, or you're walking down a flight of stairs, and that's not near distance, right? That's not reading distance, depending on how tall you are. So it's really expensive and frustrating to need glasses. I think most of you can agree here, or contacts, right? And this is the American Vision Institute doesn't exist anymore, but it was a group of 3 behavioral optometrists and a scientist, and they wrote a really great book that came out in 1996 by Simon and Schuster. And what I love, what they said here is, the truth is that no clinical studies have ever demonstrated the long-term safety or effectiveness of, in quotation, or corrective lenses. To put it bluntly, the traditional method of prescribing these products is an untested and unproven form of treatment. In fact, much of the traditional eye care is based on a series of unproven assumptions, many of which are wrong. The problem is that prescribing corrective lenses is so lucrative that most traditional eye doctors have no desire to change the status quo, right? I think you can. Yeah.
Can I say something? So one, my students have said many, many times that the minute they start wearing progressive lenses, their eyesight worsens a lot faster than before. And second, there's people that have had accidents going downstairs, like you say, because you have to be doing all kinds of weird things to your position so that you can see well. And there's research from the MIT proving that actually when you wear glasses, any kind of glasses, your vision worsens faster. But they're not very widespread, these research, right? And sorry, go ahead and continue.
No, thank you for throwing that in there. I didn't even know about that research, because I have other quotes from the American Vision Institute in my longer presentations, but it's really crazy because I don't want to talk bad about these doctors, because it's many people don't know any other way, and they do help, but optometrists especially really make their money with selling you glass and contacts, right? So that's kind of their main business, like how restaurants make more money with drinks, not with the food, right? So we always have to look at the end of the day, what is this doctor's interest, right? So I usually recommend to my clients to go to an ophthalmologist, which is really important to get your eye health checked, to make sure that your retina and your lens and all those things are, that you have no eye disease brewing. That to me is really important. I recommend that every year. But optometrists really are especially interested in selling you these glasses, right, or contacts. And okay, I'm curious if anybody here has done LASIK or RPK surgery. So I hear ads on the radio all the time, only put $50 down in the next 30 minutes, have a free consultation. And they really try to get you to sign up for these surgeries. And here's the truth about LASIK. It's, first of all, it's an irreversible cut into your cornea. And now that you know, and maybe I didn't ask you in the beginning, but how I had that experience, how my vision varied, I'm sure, let me know in the chat if you have that same experience, that you notice that your vision is maybe sometimes worse, sometimes better, could be within the same day. Maybe morning is better, evening is worse, or the other way around. And now that you think about it, like now they're cutting something into your cornea that is based on a measurement. Maybe you just had a really bad day, and you can't reverse that, right? And here's the thing, everybody, I think the longest I've ever heard, I don't know about you, Anoa, that somebody was out of glasses was maybe like 12, 13 years. But usually within a decade or less, people are back in glasses after LASIK. So it doesn't last. And there's many side effects like halos around lights at night, severe dry eyes, and other side effects. So it's not, it seems like this quick fix. But what we want to talk about here today, there is really no quick fix with health in general, and not with eyesight either. But here's the good news. Environment and lifestyle, and your habits, actually, that should be on here, have a far bigger impact than just genetics and even age on your vision, right? And the only way to actually improve, or what I would say here, is correct your vision is naturally, because that's why in the American Vision Institute, they put corrective lenses in these quotation marks, because I always use that example, and I don't have a slide for that, but if you break a bone, right, you get a cast, and then you have to kind of, to keep your arm or your leg, whatever, steady. And then you get the cast off and you do physical therapy, but your bone is corrected, right? Your bone is now corrected. Then you do physical therapy, you strengthen the muscles, and then back off you go. And, you're usually like you were before. But corrective lenses don't correct anything. The second you take them off, everything is as blurry as it was before. And again, LASIK might seem like that correction that might last for a while, but it doesn't last. And so that, right? You want to add?
There's no compensating lenses, but they make your natural systems lazy. So over time, your vision keeps becoming worse and worse. For some people faster, for some people slower. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So now what I hear a lot, and I don't know about everybody listening here, I hear this, okay, that sounds great. I want to do it, right? Perfect. But what do I do now if I currently wear glasses or contacts? How do I function without them? Like, what do I do? Yeah, it's like you're telling me that might not be the right approach. Or people tell me I get eye strain when I take my glasses off and everything is blurry. I can't do this. And so basically, then it's like this, wait a moment, I cannot wear my glasses or contacts to improve naturally. So there's always this kind of worry about, what do I do? And here's the thing, guys. If you wear and this is what I should put here instead of glasses, your full strength prescription glasses, what I really mean here, right? If it's like being in that cast, so you don't have any ability to change and to improve your vision. And I know the muscular example is not exactly like how eyesight works because it's brain-based, but people get that idea, right? If you want to improve your strength in your biceps and your arms, you need to have freedom to move around. And so the same goes with glasses. Now, I don't want you to think I'm screwed. Oh, there's nothing I can do. This is horrible. Here's always what I say. There's always a solution. There's always a solution. And any change starts with a spark of inspiration, an idea. And I'm curious what your spark was. Type in the chat where you first heard about the idea of natural vision improvement. And maybe that was Dr. Anoa. Maybe that was something else. Maybe it was a book like it was for me. Something like, but who first told you that this is possible? Like that first initial spark of inspiration, right? I'm curious to hear that. Maybe you listened to the summit that Dr. Anoa did. Maybe you found a podcast or something, the old-fashioned videos, or for me, it was a book. But here's the thing, without kindling, there is no fire, right? So you need more than just that initial spark. You need something more to guide you through. And the other piece that you need is commitment. And commitment, I don't know about you, Anoa, but when it comes to vision, a lot of times it's not the same. Like if you have an aching tooth, right? Or you have cancer, or you have something, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to do it next year. It's just like, it's not important right now, right? There's a sense of severe urgency with other, more painful or dangerous conditions or health conditions where you're like, I have to take action. And with vision, sometimes it's more like, yeah, it would be nice. But we do want to point out here that there has to be some kind of commitment. And it doesn't mean hours and hours of your day taking by eye exercises. That's not what neither of us teaches. But there has to be some kind of like, this is important to me. And I'm curious, how did you hear about me? And I'm guessing most of you would have heard of me through Dr. Anoa here today. And what I want to invite you to, and I'm going to stop this screen share in a moment because I'm going to tell you a little bit more without slides what we're going to be doing. But I would love to invite you into this free course that I have. I call it See Better in Just 5 Days. And it basically walks you through the 5 key principles of naturally clear vision that will set you up for the best vision of your life. And that's because here's what I hear a lot with all these like, oh, I don't know what to do. I always say, don't believe me. Don't believe Dr. Anoa. Don't believe your eye doctor. See for yourself that you can make improvements. And while a webinar, a masterclass is very powerful to get you to that spark, a lot of times actually doing something and seeing for yourself that you can do this. And this is not just that thing that works for other people, but not for you, right? So I'm going to tell you a little bit more at the end, but basically, this is an online program with really short trainings each day. And then I go live starting tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, which is because of the daylight savings time change. That would be 7 p.m. in the UK and 8 p.m. in Central Europe. So we do live coaching every day. And just a quick note here. So this is from last year. We have thousands of these comments, basically how people saw improvements, has so informative, life-changing, excited, the possibilities of healing my vision. And then these are just some screenshots, basically the changes that people are already noticing after just a few days. And so this is, again, this is a picture of me before and after glasses, obviously, just to show you the before and after. So thank you for inviting me. I do want to, actually, let me see, how do I stop my slideshow? Here we go.
Oh, I can remove them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in a minute, I would like to ask you to show us if you have like the calendar or the schedule or something in a way that's easy for people to take a snapshot and make space in their calendar to participate. But I would like to make sure that it's understood that the invitation that Claudia is doing for this 5-day challenge to see better with your own eyes is completely free. I have just put the link so that you can register. I'm going to post it again. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going to happen? Of course, you will explain the things in detail during the 5-day challenge, but tell us a little bit more. What are they going to be navigating through, and what's the purpose? What's the support they're going to get? How is this going to work?
Yeah, so basically the 5 principles that I teach are light, rest, and movement, which is the physical part of the vision improvement. And then we use the brain, we use imagination and visioning, which is super important. And it's literally 90% of the success is being able to do that. And then we also address fusion, how the eyes work together, because a lot of times in the eye exam, the eye doctor just does this, and then they measure your visual acuity, but they don't look at how the eyes work together. Unless you have what I had, strabismus. I had strabismus as a kid. I had astigmatism. I had all kinds of vision problems. But in most cases, they don't ever check your binocular vision or fusion or stereopic vision. And so that's a big piece of how we have depth perception. So we're addressing all these 5. Each day there's a different theme. And so it's basically a little mini course. You get a daily handout, you get a little video, and you do the activity on your own. So we release that every day. And then we have a live coaching call every day that we do 90 minutes. And we usually review the technique first in the beginning, so that, because sometimes people haven't done it or they didn't see the link. And so we review the technique in the morning. We actually do it together, again, live. And then I answer questions about, any kind of questions you have. That's how it works. I don't have a screenshot of the calendar, but basically when you sign up, and I know I put the link there, all of that information is right there. And we do this, all the live coaching will be in a webinar platform. So we can, you can ask your questions, we can answer them live. And we also have prizes to give away, because there's certain products that I love that I use for my own vision improvement. And so we have a few sponsors, because we also want to reward engagement and people showing up and participating actively. And so you can win really, really amazing prizes as well. Yeah. Oh, you're muted.
Happen. So I was saying, yay, super. So depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching this live, then the 5-day challenge actually starts tomorrow, Monday, March the 11th, 2024. If you watch the replay, well, we're going to be sending by email, of course, more reminders so that people are aware of this and they can benefit from it. But anyway, so I understand the 5-day challenge is from March the 11th to March the 15th, 2024. And I understand that you're sending some information in advance, so people need to sign up, right? So that they can
see basically, yes, basically that you need to sign up. You get the invitation, everything. You also get the link to attend the coaching call, so that everybody gets a unique link, and you also get access to the course. So it's a little course, so you can watch the trainings each day on your own. You don't have to come to the coaching calls. And then we do recommend that you come to the live calls. At least, if you can't make it all the 5 days, I get it, but come at least a couple of times to come to the live calls. And so that's when we give away the prizes, when we I answer all your questions. This is really what it's about. And we practice everything together, and we go over in even more detail while all these things, whatever you're learning each day, is so important. So yeah, I found, because a lot of times if you don't see for yourself, right, then you might not believe that this works for you. And so I really want people to understand, to get that spark that this is possible, because then you're much more motivated, right? If we know that something works, we're much more motivated to actually do something.
And in this case, it's when it best applies to see with your own eyes.
Exactly. Yeah.
See with your own eyes. That's really the point. So I understand when people sign up, they're going to have access to the course that's in a platform, probably the same platform where you have also your paid courses, etc.
Yes, exactly.
Also used to using it. And then the coaching calls, the live coaching calls happen live, maybe on a Zoom room, something like that. One of these.
It's not Zoom, but it's a similar, like how we are on StreamYard here. It's a similar platform. It's basically a platform where, it makes it easy to log on. It makes it easy to show. And then we can answer all your questions. So yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say the live sessions or the coaching calls, because they're live, they must have a schedule. So at what time during the day, Pacific time or Eastern time or Amsterdam, Berlin, or London, Dublin time, is this going to happen for those days? So because we have an audience that comes from many time zones.
Yeah, I did share that earlier, but I can go and kind of find the slide again. So I had that on my slides. It's at 12 p.m. Los Angeles time, 3 p.m. New York. It's 7 p.m. in London, and 8 p.m. in Berlin. And
yes, because there's a time change now. Just today, the time has changed, and instead of 7, it's 8 hours difference with most of Western Europe. Okay, so it's 12 p.m. LA time. That's 3 p.m. New York, and that is 7 p.m. London, Dublin. 8 p.m. Amsterdam, Berlin, etc. Okay, so every day of the week, Monday through Friday, at that time are the coaching calls. So that's great. And you were going to say something when I asked you about these schedules, so you can get back to it, please.
Yeah, so you just basically covered it. I just want to make sure. So when you sign up, you get an email that gives you all the details and the link to log on to the coaching calls every day, the link to join the program. We're going to release that first training tonight, Pacific time, because I know in Europe, everybody is way ahead of the game. So we make sure that on your Monday morning, you already have the day one training in your inbox, and you can view that one. And the videos are all super short. I did that on purpose so that we don't take up too much of your time, so that you can just go through this. And I give everybody access to the course through the weekend. So basically you have more than 5 days. Sometimes people sign up on the second or the third day and they're jumping in it. I've done that many times on these 5-day trainings. So we jump on a little delayed. So we give you through the weekend to kind of catch up with everything. And we also have replays of the daily coaching calls. So we upload those also into the course platform. So if you miss a live call and you really want to watch it, you can definitely watch the replay.
Okay, as you're talking, I'm typing the details so I can send this message both to YouTube and Facebook. So if you have some more information to add, that'll allow me to finish typing, and then we can start more the dialogue interaction again.
Okay, yeah, I have to look this up. I have it written down somewhere, but ask me something and I'm searching while we're doing this.
Um, um, okay, what benefits or what results can people expect from these 5 days? Because you and I know that a lot of time or sometimes people need to go through a longer process, training process, to get complete clear eyesight. But what is possible in 5 days? What are people going to notice when they engage and they come and they participate in your course and they come to the coaching calls? What's the transformation going to be during this week, or what happens to a lot of people or many people? What do people? I know you showed some testimonials, but yeah, what can people expect coming for these 5 days?
So usually what we notice, first of all, that they realize that their vision can change, right? That's the idea that when they apply the techniques that they're going to be learning, that their vision is better than it was before. So we always have more lubrication in the eyes, less fatigue, less headaches, more relaxation, more clarity. So it depends. Some people can say, you know what, I barely need my glasses anymore. And other people, obviously, like you said, need a lot more time, right? 5 days is just, I always say that 5 days is like a movie preview, right? It's like a trailer that you see in the movie theater. You're like, I want to do this. I want to actually, this is something I love, right? It just gives you enough of an idea what this thing is about and how to do it versus, the full feature film, let's say, for instance. So you will see noticeable changes in your eyesight. And that's why I talked a little bit about the glasses. So obviously, you need, you can't just throw your glasses away, but we recommend everybody does wear their glasses as little as possible during that week. Obviously, driving safety is always number one, but anytime you can, sometimes wear an older pair or weaker glass that you might have laying around. That's what we usually recommend, and not use them for any tasks where you don't need your glasses. So that is usually a number one thing that helps a lot. That's why I talked about it. So that's the one thing that sometimes people are hesitant about, but most people that are farsighted can just get weaker readers, or that don't need glasses for distance stuff or around the house. Don't wear them around the house. You have to feel safe. That's always important, and driving is obviously the most number one thing, where safety first. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you're right. Also, I have that experience from my free trainings that there's people who do solve their problems within the free workshop or the free training, and people can get improvements with dry eye or fatigue, eye strain, or they can see floaters diminish or disappear. Light sensitivity or photophobia can also go away. These are things that can disappear quite quickly when you start using your eyes better, when you start getting interested in natural vision improvement. So, and some people even get rid of their glasses in a very short time. That also happens. So I would like to invite you to absolutely give it a shot, give it a try, see how Claudia's approach talks to you. You'll certainly learn a lot of useful things, and it's going to be fun. It's a week of your life, and it can bring you amazing benefits. I have written the times. Let me share it a little bit. So the coaching calls happen from Monday the 11th to Friday the 15th on March. Oh, there's a little bit extra to there. It's 2024. And that is at 12 p.m. LA time, 3 p.m. New York time, 7 p.m. London, Dublin time, 8 p.m. Amsterdam, Berlin. And of course, anytime you would join during the week, you can do the recorded part of the course and you can catch up. But since you're listening to this on Sunday, so it's starting tomorrow, my advice, my invitation would be to sign up now so that you can take full advantage of this 5-day challenge with the good dosing and the good timing, the more optimal way to do it. Anything you'd like to add about this, Claudia?
Not really. I just have to say, what do you have to lose, right? All you have to lose is your strong prescription glasses. like Anoa and I did. And it's just, like also thinking about like why. I think what's really important with this, like I said, there's not the urgency of like a tooth that's really aching or something really bad happening. You have an accident, a bleeding wound. You're not going to go, I go to the hospital next year, right? You take action. So think about how your vision impacts your life, right? Like, because I actually, but every time I go to the beach for a walk, pretty much every single time I find a pair of glasses in the sand. And I'm always thinking, wow, this person was really nearsighted. How did they even get home? So like, think about all the things, like what can you, like how your vision, your current vision impacts your life. What can you not do? Maybe you've given up driving at night because you can't see well enough at night. Or maybe you've given up water sports because you don't like contacts and you can't swim and you can't see anything, or diving, or maybe you've given up knitting or near work, or you don't read as many books anymore, whatever it is. But how has your vision impacted your life? So that's kind of from the negative, kind of like what's missing. But then also maybe envision, and I found that really interesting, envision how your life would be like if you didn't need glasses. If you could travel, you didn't need to worry about a prescription or glasses breaking or losing your contacts or any of this stuff, and you're not screwed. You're not in a foreign city, maybe, and you like to travel, and you're in a country you don't speak the language, you don't know how to go get the prescription, right? So I think what I found, I don't know about you, Noah, but I found that farsighted people that had not like me, I had glasses, I was farsighted, but I had glasses since age 3. But farsighted people that always had great vision all their life, and now they're hitting their 40s, 50s, and they start with readers, they have a very clear memory of how easy it was to see these things, to read the menu, to read the small print on supplement bottles, right? So they have an easier time. I found that people that were nearsighted, that had glasses maybe since 3rd grade, sometimes couldn't really even imagine not needing glasses, or like it's almost like the identity is so connected to having vision problems. So I encourage all of you listening here to kind of think a little bit outside the frame of the glasses, and really think like, what would change if your vision was better? Like, what could you do that you want to do and you maybe never even tried because you're like, I can't see anything well anyway. Does that all make sense? I think that's something important, because
yeah. As I was listening to you, I was thinking also of examples from my students. I remember this one lady who loved painting, and she had to stop because she couldn't see well enough. And then when she recovered her eyesight again, in this case with my trainings, she started painting again, and she got prizes for her painting in Spain and was featured in expositions. So for her, it was life-changing. Or I can recall another student who really wanted to become a pilot, but didn't have good enough eyesight to even be able to go through the exams. And then when he got great eyesight, then he could go on this professional career that he was so looking forward to. So these experience can be life-changing. And maybe you're not in such a extreme kind of case like we may be talking here, but I'm certain that seeing well makes a huge difference, because eyesight is the main sense to connect with our world for most people. And there's research done also on the biggest fears that people have, and it seems that the biggest fear is dying. The second is public speaking. So here we are, challenging the fear of public speaking, because so that you don't have to have the third fear. The third biggest fear is to become blind, to lose eyesight.
Really interesting.
Yes. And another thing, sometimes we're not like you were saying, of course, if we have cancer, or if we have something that's very urgent, or we're going to die, or there's a horrible imminent pain that we need to get rid of immediately, we're going to act. But sometimes we don't have horrible tooth pain, and yet we're brushing our teeth every day.
Yeah.
3 times a day, or at least once a day, because we want to have good teeth when we're old, right? And don't we all want to have good eyesight when we're older? Of course we do. Probably having good eyesight makes a bigger a difference in our quality of life than having good teeth. Of course, we want both, right? We're going to keep brushing our teeth, but we can also do a few things, and it doesn't necessarily take hours a day. minutes here and there, and presence and attention and the intention and the knowledge of using your eyes well. So voila, you have an opportunity here to improve your eyesight in 5 days. And I really do invite you to take it. Here's the link. I have also posted it on
Great.
Facebook, YouTube. Yeah.
I have a couple
And
of stories too. Oh, sorry to interrupt. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I want to, what you just shared. I love that story about the pilot. And for some people, it's more, they have an exact goal. Like I had a student who was afraid, she's over 64 and she had to redo the eye test for the driving license. And she was so worried that she's not going to pass that. Right. And so she did all the things in the car before she went there. And said she could read 3 lines further down than they needed her to do. And I had another student who was super fast-sighted. And for her, it wasn't about getting out of glasses. She had like a +8, like super hyperopia. But she had done vision therapy for a year and couldn't actually read, not even for 1 minute. It would strain her so much. So after doing my program, she could read for 20 minutes. And that just gave her the quality of life back, just to, so whatever your goal is, however it impacts your vision, and what you said about, brushing your teeth, and like we usually just abuse our eyes on screens, and then we just like, oh, what happened now? And the urgency, I didn't even know the third biggest fear is going blind. I think a lot of people do not connect the dots that, for instance, high myopia is connected to macular degeneration, so that you have a higher risk of becoming centrally blind in your vision, or that, a high pressure life where you don't relax can lead to a high risk of glaucoma. I just worked with a student, and she finally, her intraocular pressure is down. Her glaucoma specialist said, "This, what did you do?" And she said, "Yeah, natural vision improvement." So there's so many examples, and I think you don't even have to think about, blindness is a real thing that affects many people. And cataract is the only surgery where they have a traditional, quick quote unquote fix. But a lot of these eye diseases, there's no cure. There's nothing you can do, and a lot of times we basically don't want you to wait till it's so bad, and then the eye doctor tells you, you just have to get monthly shots into your eyes, but really it's not going to fix anything.
Getting back to the teeth example, nobody would believe nowadays that going to the dentist once a year is taking care of our teeth, right? Of course, you're going to go once a year to the dentist to have a checkup, but you're also every day brushing your teeth. So it's crazy for something that is a lot more delicate and sophisticated and complex, like our eyes. Our eyes are really magnificent, but you need to take care of them. And if the only thing that you do is go once a year to the ophthalmologist checkup, well, guess what? By the time you're doing this for many years in your life, not taking care of them, yeah, there is the point where the ophthalmologist is going to say, well, you have this and that, and there's nothing we can do except maybe surgery, and maybe even then it won't work. So it's time for us to take the responsibility of taking care of our eyes like we do for many other body parts and functions. We're brushing our hair every day. Right? And we're taking a shower, and we're brushing our teeth, and we're probably cleaning our ears, and we're drinking water, or we're having a good diet. We're making sure that we're moving our bodies. So most of us are really aware that we need to take responsibility for our health and well-being. It's just that we hadn't had the information, the proper right information, to be able to take care of our eyes and our eyesight. So this is an opportunity, so you can do it. And I've known Claudia for many years now. As we said earlier, we're good friends. We like to collaborate. Every time I go to LA, we take time to see each other.
Yeah.
And now you're going to spend some time in Mexico. So
Yes.
we hope to meet also over there. And we like to keep each other updated on our activities, and whenever possible, help each other out in a way or another. And again, people learn in different ways. People like to hear different voices. Both Claudia and I learned from different teachers at different times. So whether you've been my student or not yet, please feel free to check what Claudia is doing. And if you like it, go ahead and sign up for her course. And we'll be very happy, both of us, because again, as Claudia said, we're here for service. It doesn't matter who does it or how. What is important is that it happens, that it gets done, and that you can improve your eyesight. So it's through Claudia, magnificent, amazing. It's through me, amazing, great. If it's through another colleague, we'll be very happy also. So just take the chance, see with your own eyes, try for yourself, and you will be very happy to give yourself the gift of taking just a little time next week so that you can go through these lessons that Claudia is going to provide, practice the exercises, or maybe not the exercises, but the suggestions, the invitations,
Yeah.
right? Practice the things that she advises, see for yourself, see with your own eyes. And if you can even make it to the coaching calls, well, then you'll have extra time to review with her how the things are done, how they work, why, to answer questions. And I'm reminding the schedules where it's when it's going to happen for the different times. And it's an amazing present that you can give yourself before spring starts and the world starts becoming more and more beautiful, and you want to see all the beauty of the spring with your own eyes.
Exactly. So thank you so much. Yeah. And again, just know that the daily trainings are not dependent on the coaching calls. You get access to those individually, so you can watch them on your own and go through that on your own. And then the coaching calls are really there to support you, to build community, to get all your questions answered. And we will practice it together. And like that, when you have questions, this is really what helped me the most. I know it's like getting the support and, learning like what I did wrong, and maybe what if this is the thing, or my experience was this, like, so really this is all about getting that support. And really what I also want to leave you with is feeling confident and empowered, because what I also hear from people all the time, I have more confidence now in my own ability to do something, and I don't feel like I'm at the mercy of the eye doctor, and you can also ask better questions of your eye doctor, because a lot of times, I have many eye doctor friends. They also sometimes have 5 minutes per patient. So, but you can ask, you understand all this stuff a lot better. And I think, and also, whatever point interests you, it doesn't matter if it's a lifestyle, a hobby, looking younger, because studies have found that glasses age you up to 10 years, right? We dye our hair, I'm a little bit more gray than this. And we do all those things to look younger. And glasses are just one of those things. For me, the look wasn't the most important part, but maybe for you, the look is an important part, and maybe not. But whatever it is, you have the power. You actually have the power over your eyesight, and it's not just your age and your genetics, and it's right. That's kind of what we want to share here today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly not your genetics. I mean, in 20 years in Asia, the transformation has been from 35% people having myopia, being nearsighted, to 80%. If it was genetics, the change would be maximum 2% up or 2% down. So it's not genetics. And it's not your age either, because we have many examples in anthropology of very ethnic groups that live very long, like the Hansa in the Himalayas or the Vilacabamba in Ecuador, or even you can check in Netflix. There's this documentary about blue zones and living years. And you can see that there's all these people being 100 years old, and practically none of them wear any glasses. So it has to do about lifestyle and habits and things that you can learn and you can implement in your daily life. Yeah. And I have a question here. Somebody's asking if the challenge, the 5-day challenge, is for free. I'm saying yes, it's absolutely for free. Now, at the end of the challenge, Claudia is going to offer you the opportunity to join some other programs that are paid programs. And you are perfectly free to choose whether you're interested in going further and knowing more, or if you want to stay there with the 5-day challenge information. You're free. It's up to you. But the challenge itself is completely for free. And you can share with as many people as you want. The link I posted over there.
Yeah, please share the link with all your friends and anybody that is interested. Because the reason that Anoa and I do a lot of these things for free is because we want to have that bigger impact, and we don't want anybody to be held back by having to pay for things. Because while that adds a little bit, you have more skin in the game if you pay for something, but at the same time, getting that spark or getting that initial idea to us is super important, and that's why we do it zero cost. Right. However, at some point when we really work with you, and at some point we can't do this for free, because otherwise, unless we're billionaires, we can't afford to do that either. But we want you to know enough so that you can make a good decision and you can see for yourself that this is possible, and not because eye doctors will probably tell you it doesn't work. I'm like, do they actually study neurobiology? I mean, it's like we have so much research now coming out. And like you said, the blue zones alone, you noticed that too, right? I was like, wow, there was barely anybody wearing glasses And even one of my dear friends who died at 101 a few years ago, his parents both wear glasses and he never needed glasses. I saw his phone, he saw the street signs, like, which is like, but there's a few things. And I interviewed him actually. And when you ask people with perfect vision, what do? They can't even tell you. It's almost like they have these naturally clear vision habits, as I call them.
Mm-hmm.
And they eat a clean diet and all these things, we're going to talk about. But anyway, I think it's enough for today. Like, use that link. Please share that with as many people as possible, and really, really hope to see you at a minimum in the program, but ideally on the live calls, at least 1 or 2 of the days if you can't make all 5. And remember, you can also win super cool prizes like mm-hmm. glasses that I use, and we have an eyesight clarity trainer. We have actual like prizes worth over $1,500 so each day. So there's definitely things that you want to be there, and not just for the prizes, but this is another extra like carrot dangling you to actually take action and not delay this any further.
Look, we have this amazing comment from Karim Ali Bahadur, and he says it's very true. Yes, our parents and grandparents were not using eyeglasses in Hansa. So amazing. We have someone from. Yeah, so good to know. So join, use the link, share the link with your beloved people. If you know people who wear glasses, if you know people that need to get glasses, if you know people who are considering or have been summoned to have a surgery for their eyesight, and even for your kids, for your parents, for your siblings, for your friends, if you know of people that could use this information, share this link. I noticed, Claudia, this is an amusing little detail, that I was sharing the link several times as we were talking on Facebook and YouTube. And because I was so enthusiastic about, the research that I told you from the MIT.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So actually, I was sharing that link over and over instead of the sign up link. So now I deleted those, and
okay,
the link is out there. But anyway, if you're curious, you can also have a look at the research that I was talking about from Antonio Medina at the MIT, showing that if you wear glasses, that's going to make your eyesight worse faster. But if you want to go the good direction and improve your eyesight naturally and do it for free next week for 5 days in a row, you want to use this link to sign up for Claudia's challenge. Any final words you'd like to say before we say goodbye for today?
I can talk for hours just like you, because we get so excited about this. But I think what you want, we want to encourage you not to wait, because this is the thing too. Sometimes I get people like, I heard about this 20 years ago, but then I'm like, and now they have all this eye disease and that eye disease. Like, do not wait, do not delay, even though there is no gashing wound bleeding and there is no pain. But really, we encourage you to take some actions and go beyond just dabbling with it. And again, this is just 5 days so that you can see for yourself that this actually works, and that you can feel, knowing also the things that you need to do that people with perfect vision automatically do, right? So learning these things is so powerful, and that's not going to be taken away from you, because you learn those things and then you will continue to do that. And I've heard from so many people, I still do that, and I told all my friends about it. And it's like, yeah, it's so powerful. And be the ambassador in your circles, because I feel a lot of people, Noah, that you and I attract are kind of what a friend, Dr. Manon Bollinger, who's a friend of mine, she calls it the healer in every household. There's always the person who's like, the one that inspires other people to eat a better diet, move more. There's always that one person. And, I feel a lot of you here are that person. So sign up and then share the link with everybody in your community, so that we can get as many people as possible. We had like 16,000 people last year. Not all of them came to the live coaching calls, but really, really, we want to make this a big event, and so that the whole world starts noticing more and more that this is possible. So.
Yes. And I'm seeing Azahar from India, who's asking if there's possibilities to learn how to improve your eyesight from Ayurvedic approaches. And of course there are, and you can look for them as well. But I would like to invite you to nevertheless take advantage of the opportunity that Claudia is offering next week. So you can also, in the meantime, do the research and look for more options. But this is happening now. This is happening next week. There's no reason to wait for something else to improve your eyesight this week. So take the link, use it, share it. And
Can I
of
say
course,
one more thing, Anoa? So I mean, I have a YouTube channel too, right? And I invite lots of other experts, and we had Ayurveda on there too. A lot of times, like diet and many factors are important for vision improvement. But the one I want you to focus right now on, what are the habits, what are the key 5 things I talked about: light, rest, movement, imagination, and how the eyes work together, the fusion. Those are the 5 key things that you need to address when it comes to, yes, do you also need a clean diet? We talked about all those things. And then one other thing I hear all the time: can I do it with my kids? So I have 2 daughters I raised on my own, as you know, as you heard from my story. When they were teenagers, like anything mom said was like, la, 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 la. Like, teenagers might not be open to this because they have to be interested. If you have smaller children, like 10 or younger, you learn the thing, you learn the daily technique, and then you do it with them as a game. So you can do it with them as a game, but this is not something that you can have your 8-year-old, like, okay, Johnny, go on the iPad and watch the training. We want you to learn this, and then you teach your kid, because kids also need role models. That's what I found when I worked with kids back in the day. I said, I have to work with you first, mom or dad, because if you don't do it and if you don't understand the principles, right, you can't just tell them to do their homework in terms of, now there's another thing on their list of chores. That's not how it should be. It's fun, and it could be a game. And that's, if you have children or grandchildren, that's a way to get them engaged as well.
yeah, and absolutely. Let me highlight Claudia's YouTube channel and the quality of the interviews that she does there. I've been invited a few times, but many of our colleagues of our community of natural vision improvement are featured there. So that's an amazing resource. You can go check it out. But first, sign up for the 5-day challenge, because there you are going to have immediate, tangible, visible results in just a few days, practicing a few minutes per day. So I would say, if that's your main objective, go for it, sign up, and we'll see you tomorrow, because it's already on Monday, tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, exactly. It's a step-by-step protocol that I'm teaching in this 5-day program, versus just watching videos and, at the end of the day, you're not sure what to do. And again, the coaching calls are there to answer anybody's question, like, I'm this and this and this, what I should do, so that's what the coaching calls are for, to really help you navigate this for yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great. So thank you so much, Claudia, for having spent this time with us, about an hour, for having come to share with our community of visionaries how you can improve your eyesight in 5 days, and for extending the invitation to your challenge starting tomorrow, next week, but it's already tomorrow.
Yes.
And congratulations for everybody who showed up and listened and participated and stayed until the end. This shows your commitment to yourself, your health, your eyesight. And I'd like to say goodbye, unless Claudia wants to say something else.
Okay. I think we said a lot of good things.
Well, wishing you to take care, be happy, enjoy the beauty of life, and we'll see you very, very soon, and we'll see each other better and better. So see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.